Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Look at this, a mock-up. Love it. What are we talking about today?
I got a job coming up. A homeowner wants to put in a bifold door kit, but there isn't a wall to receive it. So first thing is we need to frame a wall.
So we're talking an interior wall?
Interior wall, non-load bearing, just a simple partition wall.
All right. So if we're tackling a wall project, Tommy, where do you like to start?
First thing you got to do is do a layout. You got to figure out where the wall is going to go, and you want to make sure you make it straight and parallel with other walls. So the easiest thing to use in most cases is a laser like this. It's going to give you a straight line across the floor, up the walls, and across the ceiling.
You follow that line and you're going to be straight, you're going to be plumb.
It's important that it's plumb, and it's important that it's straight.
If I'm doing a small project, I don't want to invest in one of those, Tommy, second best option for layout?
You could use a chalk line. Chalk line is easy. It's a little machine that you use. You load it with chalk, and you snap a line.
Beautiful.
Problem is, when you're doing an interior project that maybe has a carpet or whatever, you don't want to snap a red or a blue chalk line on those two because you can't clean it off.
So you recommend what?
White.
White chalk line.
White wipes right off.
Cool. All right, layout. How about the anatomy of a wall? What do we need to know just to build any basic wall?
So layout's done. Now we're actually going to frame. I'm going to look at my bottom plate and my top plate. In this case, we have a double top plate, but I'll probably do a single one. And what these are going to do is land on the floor and the ceiling, and all of our studs are going to run from the bottom all the way to the top.
And you're saying that you might do a single because non-load bearing?
Non-load bearing, I don't have to double up.
Just
I don't need
holding the doors, holding the drywall and stuff like that.
Exactly. And then once everything's framed, I'll cut this bottom plate out, create my rough opening.
Perfectly okay to cut that one out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing about cutting that out afterwards, when you run that straight through the wall, it lines up the wall to make sure everything is parallel with one another. That's key.
That's the horizontal members. What about the verticals, Tommy?
These are your studs that run down, and they're usually 16 on center.
Okay.
The ones that define the opening right here, the outside ones, you notice they're the same as the conventional stud.
Meaning they run all the way from the sole plate to the top plate.
Right, and this is called a king stud.
Yep.
So this is the controlling the opening that everything goes to. So now underneath the header, this is not a load-bearing header, this is just a header. And this is a jack stud, so it goes from up to down. It basically is a filler stud that gives you something to fasten your trim to, but also something for your headers to rest on.
Right, and so the jack's always adjacent to the king, always a little shorter.
Right, and that's the height of the door that's going to go in, and you want to make sure you subtract the thickness of that.
Okay, and the little guys?
The little guys are called cripples, and like I say, there's 16 on centers that you space in, and it gives you nailers for your wallboard and stuff like that.
So interior wall, non-load bearing, do we have to do it 16 inches on center, or could we mix it up?
No, you can mix it up. You could do 2 foot on center, but in this case, I'm going to do 16 on center. It'll carry the drywall well. Also, you can add insulation later if you wanted to. It's set up for it.
And if we went 24 inches on center, how do you feel about that?
Well, you can go 24 inches on center, but now you have to think about the wallboard or your finishes that you're using, because if you go 24 on its center, you now have to take that half-inch wallboard and use a thicker wallboard, 5/8. Or you measure down from the ceiling, let's say 48 inches, because that's the width of a 4x8 sheet. That 48 inches, and then put it on center, you put a block at the joints to lessen that happening, or you kick up the thickness of the wallboard so that it doesn't bend to 5/8.
Okay, so a couple options. But if you understand the basics of an interior wall, which we have right there, pretty much anyone can do it. Do you guys think it's a good homeowner project?
I think it's an easy frame. Yeah, definitely a good project.
I think it's a great project.
Good. All right. Well, good luck with yours.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. This is awesome. Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.